When we went fishing for this morning's guest, we found a fisher. She's a fisher to save babies. Who is she? You'll meet her coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at the Car Deal of the Year, Sparks Toyota on Highway 501 in Myrtle Beach. We're focused on Horry County's Walk America, and we're visiting with the Executive Director of the PD Division of the March of Dimes, Joe Fisher. Good morning,
Greg,
Joe.
it's good to see you,
Thank
Greg.
you so much for coming in early on a Wednesday morning.
Absolutely.
Walk is getting close.
Wow, we're just 3.5 weeks away from Horry County's Walk America.
Can you believe it, Joe?
Actually, it just kind of sent chills up
I know,
my arm.
I see that. Look at that. Look at those bumps.
It's just a culmination of a lot of work. We started in January, and we're just about to walk at Coastal Carolina University, our new home.
Now, Joe Fisher, you start off lying to viewers. You didn't start in January. You started last year. You started two years ago getting ready for...
Actually, you start the day after the walk last year.
That's right.
Cultivating your sponsors, getting your veteran teams back on board, and staying in touch with them all during the fall.
That's right. I knew it wasn't January when you were calling on the Herald and some of the other sponsors for sponsorships. I mean, it takes a long time to, as you say...
Actually, you have to cultivate people all year long.
Right.
And it never stops. Fundraising never stops. And keeping people in the loop, and particularly moving this walk, because this is a major undertaking for us to change locations and work with a whole new set of people on logistics and put on an exciting event for everybody that will come out that day.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, it's so amazing what all goes into preparing for the event. As you know, last week we were at Ripley's Aquarium where you all had the big team captain rally on Thursday night.
Right.
Of course, Ryan Swaim, the new chairman of the Walk, or this year's chairman, was with us that day, that morning. It was so amazing hearing him talk about, and of course, Dennis Wade, the former chairman and co-chairman last year of the Walk, was with us on Wednesday. Hearing everything that goes in to making the Walk successful is incredible.
It really is an incredible venture for all of us, and if you didn't have volunteers, you couldn't get it done. It's just simply impossible. There are just so many details that go into the walk, but certainly leading up to it, everything from a kickoff to a team captain's luncheon to a rally to bank day, and certainly our schools that have been spectacular this year.
Oh, yeah.
And they raise their money primarily in March, and getting that all in the bank and accounted for.
Right.
And then the walk itself, and making sure you have enough food.
Yes.
And certainly parking spaces and security and bottled water and all those kinds of things that go into an event. But I can guarantee you this is going to be an extraordinary walk at Coastal Carolina Walk America University. Walk
America University, a new coined phrase there. Is that something that any other university around the country or college has picked up?
Not that I know of, and you'll be seeing some banners that say that as you come into the walk that day.
Of course, Coastal, what a prime location, right up Highway 501 from here at Sparks Toyota. It's amazing to think about the opportunity to get up there, particularly, of course, with the pavilion and that tremendous relationship with Burrs and Chapin and the Myrtle Beach Pavilion for as long as we had that location to kick off and end the walk, but now to open the doors to an entirely different location.
This is going to be unique, I think, for people who come out that day, that, we're on a major campus. It is our university here in the area, and they will be walking the campus of Coastal Carolina University. They're not going to be out on any major thoroughfares. They're going to walk through the campus. About halfway through, they'll stop and get a bottle of water, and Coach Bennett, since he's our honorary chairman, he's bringing out the entire football team and all the coaches, whether they want to be there or not. They're going to be there. It's mandatory that day.
On a Saturday morning.
They're going to be throughout the walk route helping people and showing them the way, and then we'll come back and, of course, it is a celebration. It's a celebration of babies. That's what it's all about. Everybody there is there to help save a baby. Then we'll have some great festivities, food. Our Shriners will be back cooking hot dogs, and then we'll give away some plaques and have some comments, and then the young people ages 5 to 13 will take that football field over. And we'll have a punt, pass, and kick competition.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be huge. Coach Bennett talked about that on Friday, and he was so excited hearing him get juiced up about that. It was tremendous.
has said to all of our teams, we're staying until the last child has a chance to pick up a football and do whatever they can do in connection with it. And we have plaques and we have other things for the young people that are going to be there. But what a great day and what a great celebration that we're going to have at Coastal.
Dennis Wade said on Wednesday that he's been begging Coach Bennett to let him do the punt, pass, and kick. Do you think the coach will let some of us in on the game, Joe?
I think that you might have a connection there. He might let you out there with it.
5 to 13, that's right. She doesn't quite make the cut,
but
still.
We'll put a few of your years onto her. And then
boys and girls, there'll be the whole bevy of folks out there.
And one of the nicest things this time, we've always, the day of our walk, they've had a baseball game with the Miracle League.
Right.
And so we worked with the Miracle League this year, and they've come on board as a team.
Oh, yeah.
And so there won't be a baseball game on April the 28th.
Right.
All of those young people will be coming to Walk America, so we'll have all of them there. And that'll be great to have them as part of our program this year.
I spoke with Tori Mackey about that last night, and she is so thrilled. I told her I was going to have you on this morning, and she is so thrilled about the opportunity, the executive director of the Miracle League, to have all the teams. All of the 5, or I think now 6 teams from the Miracle League, all those kids and many of the buddies that they have will be out on Saturday, April 28th.
Well, we mirror each other really in what we do because most of the young people that are part of the Miracle League are young people whose lives have been touched by the March of Dimes. So I think it's a great partnership, and those young people will have a chance, and that way they don't have to leave the walk early. And go to the baseball game. They'll just be with us that day, and that'll be great.
Absolutely. Joe, if a viewer needs to get off to work now or get a family member off to school, what's the best number for someone to call? Do they still have time to be a part of the walk?
Absolutely.
And what's the best number to call or website to visit?
Our telephone number out in Conway is 488-3463.
Okay.
And if you're interested in doing it online, you can go to www.walkamerica.com/South Carolina.
Okay.
And surf down to Horry County and certainly register online.
Right. And a lot of folks, Dennis was talking about a lot of folks going online to register and say, if you've got 10 friends and ask them each to chip in $10, A, who can say no to a $10 commitment to save babies, but B, knowing it's secure.
Absolutely.
Walkamerica.org/South Carolina, it's secure. It's a vehicle that you can provide credit card information or just get an address to mail a check in to your Conway address. Right.
And one of the things we pointed out at the rally last week was, there are 24 babies born every day in South Carolina prematurely. And if between the rally and the walk, if our folks would just take 24 minutes online, just think of what you could raise. We have, as you know, a very big goal this year of $293,000.
You are
That
kidding.
sent chills up and down my spine as well.
And more bumps on your arm there. $293,000.
Yes, for Horry County. That brings out the wow factor, Greg. It really does. But if everyone would do that in honor of a baby that was born prematurely, just think of what we could do. I think that with that additional push, we can make this goal of $293,000. You think we can do $300,000?
I think we can, and we're going to, particularly with Forest Brook Elementary having the success they had last week. Can you share with viewers? Obviously, Linda Puckett was with us last Tuesday talking about the walk the next day, which has already occurred last Wednesday, a week ago.
That's right. Well, I can't give you the final figure. I can tell you that their goal, believe it or not, for an elementary school was $30,000.
That's insane.
And I can tell you that they have exceeded their goal. So when you think about that in terms of a school with faculty, staff, and young people bringing in those nickels and dimes and quarters and dollars and raising $30,000, think about what you and I can do. It's just amazing to me. They had a great walk last week. We had about 450 out walking.
Is that right? Last Wednesday?
Last Wednesday. Who Let the Dogs Out? That's their favorite song.
Who Let the Dogs Out? Can you sing it for us, Joe?
Well, no,
you could. You're not going to right now. It's 7 a.m. Yeah,
it's not in my
contract.
But that was a great day. We have other schools last week that had walks. Now, a lot of the schools have decided to have walks on their campus, and that's great.
I love it. I love it.
Great. Wearing T-shirts that have been provided by the Myrtle Beach Herald, which we're very proud of.
We know those guys, yeah. I like that
crew. It's a good group of people.
Absolutely.
And but there's something about the enthusiasm of young people that I think lends itself to Walk America and to future business leaders. These young people are going to grow up. and they're going to be presidents of banks, and who knows, maybe doctors. And so if they learn how to give when they're 7, I think they'll be happy to be giving when they're 37. So it's a great experience for the March of Dimes.
Well, you know, Colleen Shanley was with us last week talking about all the other walks in the PD division, the one she's involved in. Of course, you're involved in the Georgetown Walk, which is coming up real soon, right before the Horry County Walk. And, of course, she shared that mindset of think about if one of the children that's impacted could go on to be a researcher or a doctor or a caregiver, a nurse, or otherwise to be in a role, a fashion that they could serve children in a NICU, in a neonatal intensive care unit, which we want to talk about your recent visit on February 17th to the McLeod NICU there. But to think about if a child who's impacted at Forest Brook Elementary or PD Elementary or Sockastede to be impacted and to go on and to carry the torch to save babies. It would be tremendous.
It's tremendous, and babies are vulnerable, and when they come into the world, and if they have problems like our premature babies do, we need to help them. I know Coach Bennett, when he was on your show last week, said that he loves children and old people. And if we can't help children, who can we help? And certainly a baby that only weighs 1 pound 2 ounces like Luke Parrott did, 1 pound 4 ounces like our little Miles Pickett did, that's a small baby, Greg, that can fit into a hand. We want those babies to grow up to be healthy, and we believe that by raising money, we can find out why these babies are coming too soon and too small.
Joe, I remember when we used to film on a regular basis back at the Herald's offices on the former Air Force Base, you'd have different things with you. You'd bring in different examples, and of course one of them's a ring.
That's exactly
right.
Just
slipping a ring, if you took one of the rings off your finger and then slipped it up, to be able to talk about it slipping up to the shoulder level.
That's
there.
Exactly right.
For a baby who's born severely premature.
And that you could take a 20-ounce soft drink or bottle of water and lay it in your hand, and that's the size of Miles Pickett when he was born. And spending 3 months in a neonatal intensive care unit. Think about the roller coaster ride the family is on. Babies have great days, and then they have days when they don't think a baby will live 24 hours. It's really heart-wrenching, and so we have a big job ahead of us. The statistics are not going down. They've gone up. And so that means that we've got to work harder to figure out why these babies are having such a tough time.
I saw that figure going up, that daily figure from a couple of years ago, 22 to now 24. To think that from midnight last night to midnight tonight, that 24 children could be born.
24 yesterday. And of the numbers that we have, over 8,000 in a year, 524 of them won't reach their first birthday. That is tragic for these families, to think that you can't have that first birthday party where they're blowing out the candle and putting their face in the cake. We need to stop that, Greg, and if people will help us, we can get that done.
What can a viewer do right now? What could they do to be involved on Saturday, April 28th? If they can't be out at Coastal Carolina Walk America on Saturday the 28th, what else could they do?
Well, certainly we will accept any donation at our office.
Okay.
They can send it to 314 Laurel Street, number 201 Conway, or they can call and volunteer to help.
Great.
Interestingly enough, in the last few days, I've had some telephone calls of people who want to come out and help at the walk.
Right.
And we can use help at the walk.
Do you need volunteers that day?
You bet we do.
What time would they need to be out there?
They would need to be there by 8:30 a.m. so that we can put them at registration or any number of places. It takes a lot of people to pull a walk off, and while we have a great committee, we can always use more people.